Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of Npl Insights by au.ballerz. Today, we'll be telling you everything that happened in round 2, what to look forward to in round 3, and what the ladder looks like right now. Starting off with a rapid recap. In the under-14s, it was Melbourne Victory, who beat Essendon 2-0. Bulleen, who beat Brunswick 3-0. Brunswick Juventus, who beat Dandenong City 2-1. Avondale, who beat Eastern Lions 1-0. Malvern, who beat Green Gully 2-0. Western, who beat Glenara 3-0. Manningham, who drew to Melbourne City 0-0. Finally, Danny Thunder, who beat Caroline Springs 3-1. In the under-15s now, and it was Essendon Royals, who destroyed Melbourne Victory 5-1. South Melbourne, who beat North Geelong 4-2. Dandenong City, who beat Brunswick Juventus 3-1. Melbourne City, who got the upper hand over Green Gully 1-0. FV Academy, who lost 2-3 to Bulleen. Hume, who beat Avondale 3-0. Glenara, who beat Western United 1-0. Finally, Manningham United, who fell to Melbourne City 1-3. In the under-16s, it was Melbourne Victory who redeemed their 15s, winning 2-0 against Essendon. Dandenong City beat Eastern Lions 5-1. Melbourne City narrowly beat Green Gully 3-2. Bulleen and FV Academy played a stalemate 1-1. Hume beat Box Hill 4-1. Western United beat Glenara 2-1 away. Melbourne City beat Heidelberg 3-1 away. And finally, the points were shared by Altona and Melbourne Knights, who drew 2-2. Last but not least in the 17s, and it was our second best result of the week, was Caroline Springs beating Murray United 7-0. Melbourne Victory beating Essendon Royals 3-1. Northcote, who beat Dandenong City 3-1. Green Gully, who beat Malvern 3-2. Bulleen and FV again played a stalemate 1-1. Hume beat Box Hill 4-2 this time. Western United absolutely obliterated Oakley 9-2. And finally, Melbourne City destroyed Geelong 5-0. Top 6 this week in the 14s sees Brunswick Juventus, Bulleen, Western United and Avondale all on 2 wins from 2 games, and Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory on 1 win and 1 draw, with Brunswick Juventus and Bulleen Lions on +5 goal difference, Western and Avondale on +4 goal difference, and Malvern and Victory on +2 goal difference. 6 points, 6 points, 6 points, 6 points, 4 points, and 4 points. In the 15s, we see Melbourne City and Malvern City, the only 2 teams undefeated so far, with Essendon Royals, Hume, Bulleen, and Glenara right behind them, all on 1 win and 1 draw. +4 goal difference for Melbourne City, and Essendon Royals. +3 for Hume City, and +1 for both Bulleen and Glenara. 6 points, 6 points, 4 points, 4 points, 4 points, and finally 4 points. In the 16s, and again, it is only 2 teams that went undefeated, Western United and Melbourne City. Following them is Bulleen, Altona, Melbourne Victory, and Malvern, with all 4 teams on 1 win and 1 draw. +7 goal difference for Western, +3 for City and Bulleen, +2 for Altona and Melbourne Victory, and finally +1 for Malvern. In the 17s, and for a third time, only 2 teams have gone undefeated, Melbourne City and Green Gully, who have both been dominating, with Melbourne City scoring 11 and conceding 1 on +10 goal difference, and Gully scoring 9 and only conceding 4 on +5 goal difference. Following them, we see FV Academy and Hume City on 1 win, 1 draw, and Caroline Springs and Western United on 1 win and 1 loss. At the top of the table on joint goal difference, it's Western United and Melbourne City, with Western United scoring 12, conceding 2, and Melbourne City scoring 11, conceding 1. Following them is another undefeated team in Green Gully, while FB Academy and Hume are 4th and 5th on 1 win and 1 draw, with Caroline Springs, George Cross coming 6th place with 1 win and 1 loss, following their 7-0 win to Murray United this week. Now it's time to see who's been dominating the score sheet. In the under-14s, Alejandro Choluccio has been continuing his form from qualifiers on the top of the stats table with 3 goals in 2 games. In qualifiers, he scored 22 goals. Now, he might follow that up in Div 1. In under-15s, Amir Kamawal has scored 4 goals and sees him at the top after his hat-trick against Melbourne Victory this week. In the 16s, and it is again Orlando Chris's, who stays at the top after his 4 goals against Heidelberg last week. Jack Messina and Thomas Nasso are right behind on 3. We do know that Thomas Nasso scored a ridiculous 42 goals in qualifiers, so we are here to see if he can back that up in Div 1. Finally, the 17s sees Demetrios Vlanis and Jacob Wise on 4 goals at the top. Now let's look at round 3. Round 3 in the 14s sees Melbourne City take on Dandenong Thunder as the opening game of the round, with our game of the round being Western United and Melbourne Victory, who starts right after. Melbourne City and Glenara is another contender for game of the week. However, we did take Western United versus City over them in this age group. Essendon Royals and Green Gully are the next game on the agenda, while Avondale and Brunswick City are playing at Fairbairn Park at 9:30am. Eastern Lions and Caroline Springs George Cross play at Gardeners Creek Reserve, while FC Bulleen Lions and Dandenong City, another contender for Game of the Week, play at Venator Club, with the final game being Brunswick Juventus taking on Manningham United at 10am at the Sheen Reserve. In the 15th, it is South Melbourne who take the trip to Gardeners Park Reserve to take on Melbourne City, top of the table, while Melbourne City and Glenara are facing each other at Casey Fields, one of our contenders for Game of the Week. However, they do not get it. Essendon Royals take on Green Gully, while North Geelong host Hume at Elcho Park. Avondale will be taking on FV Academy, while our Game of the Week, Western United and Melbourne Victory, will happen at Ironbark Fields. Brunswick Juventus vs Manningham will clash at the Sheen Reserve, while Bulleen and Dandenong City are the final game of the round. In the 16s, and in some very weird times this week, Western United take on Melbourne Victory at 9am at Ironbark Fields, while Melbourne City vs Glenara is our game of the round in this age group, which takes place at 9:30am. Hume City will be taking on Melbourne Knights at 11:15, while Melbourne City will be taking on Altona at 11:45. Now it's time for the proper time games, where Essendon Royals will be taking on Gully, Eastern Lions will be taking on Heidelberg, Bulleen will again be taking on Dandy, and Box Hill will end this round by taking on FV Academy. In the 17s age group, and our game of the round is Western United, who take on Melbourne Victory at 11:45. Melbourne City will be taking on Oakley Cannons at 11:30, and Hume City will be taking on Caroline Springs George Cross at 1pm. Murray United would need to take the long trip all the way to Gardeners Park Reserve to take on Malvern, while Essendon Royals and Green Gully will happen at 3pm. Northcote vs Geelong will be an exciting clash taking place at Darebin, while Bulleen and Dandy and Box Hill and FV will face off again to close out round 3. In Sydney now, and it is Sydney FC who are the top on 104 points in the club championship. MacArthur Bulls and RPL Leichhardt are right behind on 96 and 93, while SD Raiders, Western Sydney Wanderers and St George City close out the top 6. In the 2 relegation spots, it is Newcastle Jets and Central Coast Mariners, 2 of the 5 A-League teams, which may come as a surprise to everyone watching. In Division 2, in the promotion spot, it is Rockdale Illidan, with Blacktown right behind them, and MacArthur Rams and NWS Spirit in 3rd and 4th respectively, with Hakoah and Sutherland Sharks closing out the top 6, with Bankstown and Riddlemere Lions in the relegation spot. Finally, in Div 3, it is Camden Tigers at the top in the promotion spot, with Central Coast United, Mount Druitt Rangers, Bankstown City, Hurstville Zagreb and Inter Lions closing out the top 6, with Granville Rage at the bottom on 32 points. In under 13s, NPL Vic Girls, Heidelberg is undefeated at the top, with South Melbourne 1 point behind them and Spring Hills 4 points behind them. In 4th place, it is Geelong Galaxy. In 5th place, it is Preston. And in 6th place, it is Bulleen Lions on 19 points. 2 of the new teams who have just made it to NPL this year are taking the competition by surprise and chopping it up with the big teams, while the under 15s see FV Academy at the top, with Spring Hills showing success in another age group in 2nd place, Geelong Galaxy in 3rd place, South Melbourne in 4th, and Bulleen and Bentley closing out the top 6 in 5th and 6th. Last but not least, the under 17s see South Melbourne undefeated at the top on 40 points, FV Academy right behind them on 37 points, Calder and Heidelberg behind them on 31 and 29, and Bulleen and Essendon Royals closing out the top 6 on 27 and 23. That was episode 3 of NPL Insights by au.ballerz. Thank you for watching, and comment who you think is going to win this week, who's going to come top of the ladder, and who is going to dominate the stats.
My dad calls George like after every Good coach.